And then perfectionism. How many of you would admit with me that you struggle with being a perfectionist? Let me see your hands. Some of you ought to be raising your hands. You've obviously not learned from Larry where we can send people for lying. We send people to Washington for that. But perfectionism. I want to give you two statements that I'm begging you to write down. You ready? If you have an older elementary through high school kid in your house, try to catch them doing something right and brag on them. If you're nitpicking with them, I love you, but you are messing up. Try to catch them doing something right and make a big deal out of it. And get this, you ready? If you have an older elementary to high school kid in your house, for everything you say to them that's negative, corrective, there has to be a drop dead minimum of 7 things in the positive to make up for 1 negative comment. You got to be 7 to 1 in the positive. And I want to challenge you to go home and do an accounting ledger. Students, do it with your parents. Parents, do it with your kids. Spouses, do it with each other. Do an accounting ledger for every relationship. On one side of the page, write your positive comments. On the other side of the page, write your negative comments. By the way, there is no such thing as constructive criticism. Criticism is criticism. It goes in the negative column. 7 to 1. And some of you are saying, wait a minute, that's impossible. I don't think that can be done. You have to practice the biblical skill of ducking. My wife and I tried to teach Paige and Josh, starting about 6 years ago, how to sit down at a table and eat like people. We were not looking for perfection. We just wanted them to be able to sit down at a table and eat like a people. But we made a vow to God, we will never waste 1 ounce of negative energy on how they eat. Who cares? I would say, Josh, you are chewing with your mouth closed. I would have to be super quick to catch him. You're chewing with your mouth closed. I am so stoked that good manners are becoming important to you. You know what? For the next 3 days, everything he would do at the table would be perfect. I go upstairs. My daughter at the time, she's probably 15, going on 25. She leaves 2 personal female items on the floor, public hallway, in front of God and everybody, but especially in front of my walking, breathing, hormone 12-year-old son. My 12-year-old walking, breathing hormone is having to step over 2 personal female items, and I'm not happy. I went downstairs. I remembered duck. I said, Paige, your room looks incredible. I've never seen your bed look this good. I mean, you just made it up perfectly. Your desk is clean. Your floor's picked up. The closet's clean. I mean, your room looks awesome. I'm so stoked you're taking care of yourself. Give me a high five. Ladies, I went upstairs after they went to school. And not only had my daughter picked up those 2 things, I said nothing about, hear me. She went in and straightened up the bathroom before she went to school. Now, is it not true that if you worked at it, you could be on your kids 24/7 about something that could be better? Is that not true? Or you can try to catch them doing something right and make a big deal out of it. You know what? We have to duck as spouses. One of my friends is a Christian counselor. I cannot even imagine that job. You just go to work and get dumped on all day. He comes home and he's in a really bad mood, and he snaps at his son Andrew, and he snaps at his wife, and it's obvious that he's just really not having a good day. You know what? She ducked. She could have gotten in his face and said, Harry, we didn't do anything to you, and yeah, but she didn't. She went over to her purse and she pulled out a $5 bill out of her purse, and she walked over to Harry and said, Harry, here is $5. You need to go down to McDonald's and buy you a Happy Meal. It's obvious you need a Happy Meal. And they all laughed. You know what? I was talking to somebody the other day, and he said, Jerry, all I want from God is justice. I just want what I deserve. I said, forget about that buckwheat. I want mercy. How many of you would like to have mercy from God? Can I see your hands? Let me ask you a question. If you want mercy from God, don't you want mercy from those people in your family? You mess up, they're going to mess up. Give them